America, land of the brave, home of the public school lunch. If you've ever gone to an American public school, you've probably eaten one of these notorious lunches at some point in your life. And today, I'm going to take on the ambitious feat of ranking them. What gives me the credentials to rank such cuisine? Well, for your information, I have over 10 years experience eating these lunches 5 days a week, 9 months out of the year. Therefore, I would consider myself an expert in school lunches. And if you think I'm going to go in and absolutely drag Michelle Obama's school lunch, you are incorrect. What I have found through my research is that Michelle Obama's school lunch is not as bad as we think, and a lot of these meals are going to end up in our upper tiers. Speaking of which, we have 5 tiers to get into and what they mean for our school lunches. Our top tier is...
That is disgusting. Give it to me now.
With this tier, I'm acknowledging that, school lunch is not the highest quality meal one could have. But if this was the lunch of the day at school, I would not be pressed at all, and I would willingly eat the meal again. Second best tier.
Very good.
As explained, these meals are, very good, but there is just something about them that doesn't edge them over into our top tier. Middle tier.
I mean, it's alright, overrated as fuck, in my opinion.
These lunches are alright, nothing to get excited about. Second to last tier.
You did this for what?
The question is, why did the school make this meal like that? They probably could have improved it in several different ways. And finally, our bottom tier.
It's a no for me, dog.
No thanks, I'm good. If this is what's for lunch that day, I'm gonna try my hardest to get any of the above options. Now that our tiers have been explained, let's get into it.
Yeah, get into it.
Our first contender, pork tenderloin sandwich, my favorite school lunch, obviously going in our top tier. It tastes just as good as any other pork tenderloin sandwich I've ever had. My only gripe with this lunch is that you have to pay extra, at least at my school, for toppings. Next is the cheese stuffed breadstick, what I perceive to be a fan favorite among many. I'm gonna get flack for this, but I'm gonna have to put it in the it's alright, I guess, tier, because to me, this meal is just alright. It's like a lower grade mozzarella stick, if you will. I wouldn't voluntarily get it any day. I really would only get this if I truly was not in the mood for any of the other options or one of the bottom 2 tier meals were for lunch that day. Next up is the spicy chicken sandwich. Can't really go wrong with it, so I'm gonna put it in our very good tier. The only reason why it is not going above is, number 1, I am very white. This is too spicy for me. And number 2, I still think the pork tenderloin is better, but overall, solid school lunch. So next is the cheeseburger, which is going straight to, it's alright, I guess, just for the sole reason that I would voluntarily get this every time it was sold. However, it does deserve to go into a lower tier because this is the most unique hamburger experience you will ever have. It is just this hard, dry patty. Doesn't even taste like beef. It tastes more like metal. They don't give you lettuce, no tomato. Ketchup and mustard can only do so much to save this thing. It's truly the worst hamburger you will ever eat. Next is our grilled chicken sandwich, going right next to her sister's spicy chicken sandwich, and very good. You cannot mess up fake chicken. It's a solid lunch. The only thing separating it from the top tier is that I think the pork tenderloin is better. And once again, why do I have to pay extra for the toppings? Stuffed crust pizza is claiming a spot at you did this for what? This is truly the worst pizza I've ever had in my life. The only reason why it's not in it's a no from me, dog, is because the stuffed crust actually slaps. The rest of the pizza is terrible. Those pepperonis that don't taste like pepperonis and that gross sauce. I truly don't understand how you could mess up pizza this bad.
Chicken fettuccine.
I am very passionate about school chicken Alfredo. And I admit, at times, it definitely was more water featuring Alfredo sauce, but a top-tier lunch nonetheless. I mean, one time I went home from school sick before lunch and got emo. Yes, I started crying over the fact that I was not going to be having school chicken Alfredo for lunch that day. Clearly an impactful lunch for me. Chicken nuggets are going right in the middle it's alright, I guess. As I've mentioned, you can't really mess up fake chicken, but are school chicken nuggets nearly as good as other chicken nuggets? The answer's no. Bagel and yogurt, talk about a meal that saves the day when all other options look bleak. For that reason, straight to very good. Chicken noodle soup. For some reason, I feel like this could just be a Midwestern thing. You can let me know. Not terrible by any means, and they gave you so many carbs with this meal. Getting a roll and mashed potatoes definitely earns itself a spot in very good. Soft tacos / nachos. For what this lunch is, it should not be nowhere near as good as it is. Absolutely earning its spot in that's disgusting. Give it to me. That taco meat? I'm not sure exactly what that is, but the school absolutely knows how to season the crap out of it. It's so good. Put some cheddar cheese on that. I am first in line every single time that is sold. Corn dog nuggets. While it is a fun take on the corn dog, it's still gonna go in the, it's alright, I guess, tier, because I don't really think corn dogs are anything that special. Spaghetti will be claiming our first spot in its no from me dog. School spaghetti is just unpleasant all the way around. You are bound to find gristle throughout the meat sauce, and pretty much any other spaghetti experience is more positive than school spaghetti. Quesadillas are going to claim a spot at very good. In terms of school Mexican food, soft tacos and nachos still reign supreme, but school quesadillas are not offensive at all despite their looks. Couldn't find a picture that accurately resembled my school's, but who gives a crap? Cheese is the key star player here, and then that weird sauce. I wasn't really salsa, wasn't really hot sauce. At this point, it doesn't matter. Moral of the story is, school quesadillas are muy delicioso.
I lost all hope today.
An accurate summary of how I feel about school chicken parm. Absolutely deserving of its spot in our top tier. School chicken parm has all of the elements to a good school lunch. You start out with the chicken patty. As I've mentioned before, you can't mess up a chicken patty. Then you got cheese. You want to make anything good? Put cheese on it. I didn't even think about the fact that it wasn't even Parmesan cheese. That's how good this lunch is. Then you have the watery red sauce. Now you would think this would be a bad thing, but it doesn't really detract away from the meal, even though sometimes it does make the chicken patty soggy. It doesn't ruin the overall experience. Then you have the whole wheat pasta. Remember, this is a Michelle Obama school lunch. There's nothing wrong with that as long as the pasta is cooked all the way through. To summarize, you got meat, cheese, a not so offensive sauce, and cooked through pasta. You have a school lunch to get excited about. Salad saves the day in the same vein that bagel does, where if you don't like what's for lunch that day or you're not in the mood for anything they're serving that day, you either get salad or you get bagel. Therefore, salad will be joining bagel in very good. General Tso's chicken will be accompanying spaghetti in It's a No from Me Dog. I do not like this lunch. I do not like the sauce. I have never had General Tso's chicken outside of a school cafeteria, so I'm going to assume that the school interpretation is much worse than the actual meal. However, in combination with the sauce I don't like and that dry rice, chicken poppers are not enough to save this meal for me, and it is the reason why I will be avoiding General Tso's chicken the rest of my life. Now on to a meal that deserves nothing but love. Country baked steak is 1,000,000 times over going in our top tier. There is no such thing as a bad day when it's country baked steak day. I have happy memories eating this meal. I don't even know what a country baked steak is, but that gray hunk of meat and those powdered mixed mashed potatoes smothered in that white peppered gravy, it's the most delicious thing. I've never even had country baked steak outside of school, and I know for a fact this is the standard. This right here, this is the standard. You gotta impress me way beyond school country baked steak if you're gonna present me with one. This meal is so good, I would go back to school, just eat this one more time. Last and certainly not least is the chicken hip dipper. You heard me correct, the chicken hip dipper. Chicken hip dipper. The definition of you did this for what? I don't understand how you're supposed to eat this. It's like a flower-shaped chicken patty. It tastes fine. You already know my thoughts on the chicken. But how are you... Is this supposed to be a pull-apart chicken nugget? Because it does not pull apart. And then once you eat all the little petals, you're left with a chicken patty. So then you need a fork and a knife to eat the rest? I don't understand what the goal here was with this, and I'm just confused by the end of lunch. Here is one last look at my final ranking. I definitely forgot a couple of lunches. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree or heavily disagree with everything I have said here? What was your favorite and least favorite school lunch growing up? Let's fight civilly in the comments. I'm Salamadunk, and I approve this message. Be sure to like and subscribe for more low-quality content coming your way.
Get your ball on.